There's another way this election is a warning for Labor, I think, Stephen. Put me right here if you don't agree. Crime is really a state issue. I've got that. Crime is a state issue. But a Resolve poll from last year already was showing that crime was now fifth in the list of issues which worried voters, above even climate change. I would think it would have got worse, because I think for the federal government, you've got these very angry anti-Jewish and anti-Israel protests that seem to bleed into this issue to make crime a federal issue as well. How do you see it?
No, I think that's a fair call. Andrew, you've got a circumstance where the Queensland government, and they've admitted it themselves after they lost, the former Premier Stephen Miles said, look, we did not move fast enough. I mean, to Jacinta Allan's credit, she started talking about the bail laws last week, and now she's got to carry that through. And we need to, as a Victorian state Labor government, we need to be seen to be doing more to deal with these on-the-ground issues, and you've just highlighted some of them. Otherwise, Jacinta Allan and Ben Carroll will be standing there staring 2 years down the track saying, well, perhaps we should have done something a bit more about that crime and law and order. Law and order is not a Liberal Party issue. Law and order is about protecting ordinary people from crimes that take their property, threaten their lives. This shouldn't be allowed to be a Liberal mantra that we're the party of law and order. There is nothing embarrassing for the Labor Party to want to look after citizens in the street so they can go about their business without the sort of threats and intimidation that you showed just a few clips there a little earlier.
I mean, it's a shocker what's going on. I feel our society is being changed into unrecognisable ways. It's just incredible. Michael, Jacinta Price on Wednesday will be, it's just quite extraordinary. She's just been there for not even one term, and she's already a key frontbencher, and now she's released her biography called, autobiography called Matters of the Heart, or memoirs, whatever you want to call it. There were stories about her on Saturday. There's a lot of secrecy about this book, but the big meaty bit of it is that she was in a very low spot. She claims she was a victim of some domestic abuse by a former partner or whatever. It was very difficult. It was in a spiral, and she took drugs, MDMA and things like that. I thought it was interesting. I was wondering whether she'd done this to get ahead of this story coming out in other ways. Is this going to damage her?
No, Andrew, quite the opposite. A lot of young people in this country, particularly people in the Aboriginal community, have suffered extraordinary adversity in their youth for a whole host of reasons. And this woman, who is a great Australian, has overcome the most extraordinary adversity, including all the deaths in and around her family, domestic violence, etc. She is, a symbol of what can be done by people who recover from extraordinary adversity. I mean, she is a shining example of how through personal discipline, through hard work, dedication, a belief system and a strong family unit around her, as to what you can achieve as an individual. And no, far from harming her, people are going to look at her and say, you're an absolute rock star. You are a hero. What you've overcome to become a senior member of the opposition in this Australian Parliament, no, people are going to say good on you. They're going to say, what an outstanding woman to recover from such adversity and reach such heights, Andrew.
Stephen, would you also give it credit for overcoming adversity and, really sticking to it?
No, look, absolutely. I mean, I've only, read a few excerpts that have been in the paper, so I haven't had a chance, obviously, to see the book. But given what she's described, it is a credit to her that she's continued to put one foot in front of the other and built herself up into a significant figure in the political world, and she deserves credit for that. The only thing I would say is hopefully she's been fully frank and honest. We've had, other former politicians who've wanted to talk about their tough luck when they were growing up, and then down the track they've perhaps not necessarily painted the full picture. So I just hope when we see the book in full, it paints the full picture, because it does sound terrible, the circumstances that she's been through.